Hey all, welcome back to my channel Library. In the previous video, we have seen about an important library called NumPy, which is used for handling arrays and numerical values using Python. In today's video, we are going to see about such an important library. This is something that's really very important than any other libraries, specifically when it comes to data handling. In day 2 of this AI course, I've told you that data scientists or ML engineers will be spending their 70% of time in cleaning the data. So specifically for cleaning the data, the one common library we often use is Pandas library in Python. So today we are going to see how to import and use Pandas library into our coding environment. This library is specifically used for handling table data. We do have many types of data, right? If we have table data in our hand, specifically Excel data, CSV files likewise, we need to use a Python library called Pandas. So let's get started. What specifically is Pandas? It is a Python library which is used for working with Excel data to clean the data or analyze data easily. Before I find insights from data, I do visualization. I need to understand the data, right? What are all the mean value, median value? What are all the columns are there in this particular table? What are the names of the columns? What kind of data type is there in each and every columns? So these are things that I have to have a clarity about before getting into the project, before getting into problem solving. So all these things we could do with Pandas. Specifically, if I have any missing values in my table data, if I have any cells that are empty, that is called as missing values. If I have missing values, I need to handle them. Handling in the sense I need to replace that missing values with a mean, median or mode value or any other values. So we do have so many ways to treat that particular missing values. That missing values are called as null values. So for treating those null values, we do have so many methods. All these topics are coming under Pandas library. So without any delay, let's get started with Pandas. So for using that Pandas library into my coding environment, what I have to do as a first step is importing Pandas. So this is what I have did. Import Pandas PD. I am using alias for importing. Next to that, to confirm that I have imported my Pandas library into my coding environment, what I am doing is I am using a printing statement to confirm that. This is completely optional. But as a beginner, I just want to confirm if it is imported or not, right? If it didn't throw an error, it says it's imported. But for a confirmation, I'm adding printing statement to that. When I run this cell, if it got imported, it will print the printing statement without any errors. Once it got imported, so it is printing this printing statement. Pandas imported successfully. Pandas is actually a Python library that is used for handling data, specifically Excel data. A data that is in tabular format. It might be CSV file, it might be Excel file or anything. In this Pandas, we do have two different data structures. The first data structure is series and the another one is data frame. Series in simple words, if I have an Excel file with just one column, it is called as series. If I do have so many columns and so many rows, it is called as data frame. And series is one dimensional. If I have a particular row with many rows and columns, it is two-dimensional. That simple it is. You need not have any confusions. How to create a panda series? Do you remember how we do created our NumPy series, NumPy array? As exactly similar to that, we will be creating our panda series. So for that, what is panda series? It is a table with particularly one column. So for creating that, what I have to do is, first, I am writing a variable name called numbers, inside which I am calling my library using the alias name pd, then dot series. So this is actually a syntax, pd dot series, which means I am letting my Python code to know that you need to create a panda series with the values that I've given inside this bracket. So how, see, in this bracket you might make a mistake as a beginner. First, I am using open bracket and normal closing bracket. It is called as parenthesis. Followed by that, I am giving square brackets. Only after giving the square bracket, inside that square bracket, I am giving the values. So if you miss any of these brackets, it will definitely throw an error. As a beginner, you need to be conscious of all these things. So after creating series, what's the next step? Of course, printing and seeing if it is got created or not. So after creating this, if I give print numbers, then the series that got created will be printed here. See how it got created and printed? This is how it simply creates series using Pandas library in Python. Next, what about data frame then? If I could create a table with one column using series, if I want to create multiple columns in my table, then I'm going to use a data frame concept. So for creating that data frame, what I have to do is, first step, I'm creating a dictionary. Inside a variable called student data, I'm creating a dictionary. So in that dictionary, I'm creating column name as keys. And for every column, we do have values under that, right? For every column names. So that values I'll be storing inside a list and then I'll be pushing that as a value to each and every keys. So under the key name, I'll be giving the list of all values that need to be specified under that column name. For the column name age, I'll be giving all the values. For the column name marks, I'll be giving all the values inside a list and I'll be giving it as value for that particular key. So this is how I'm creating a dictionary. So finally, I'm closing that with curly braces and I should start that with curly braces too because it is a syntax for creating a dictionary. After creating a dictionary, what I have to do? I need to convert that into a data frame. So for that, what you have to do is inside a variable called df. This is specifically used in common cases whenever I handle a data frame using Pandas library in Python. So df is commonly used variable name. So df equal to pd dot data frame. This is actually a syntax of converting that particular dictionary into a data frame using Pandas. So when I give pd.dataFrame, inside this I'm calling that variable student data. So what is that inside the student data? A dictionary with keys and values. What does that keys and values mean? The column names and the column values. So after doing all this step, I'm finally calling the variable df. It will print a table that got created with this column name and the values under this. So for name, I'll be having names. For age, I'll be having age. For marks, I'll be having all the values of marks. This is how my data frame got created, exactly as similar to how my Excel file will look like. See, name, age and marks. For all these column names, I have values under this as per I specified as values inside my dictionary. This is how we need to create a data frame using Pandas. Next, after creating my table, what I have to do is I need to check if that got created clearly or not. So for that, what I have to do is I could see my first 5 rows or last 5 rows of my particular table data. So for that, we do have a syntax. It is not even a one-line syntax, it is just a one word. First, the variable name inside which I store my table. So here I stored that inside df, right? So df dot head. Head means the first 5 rows of my given Excel file or my table. Open bracket and close bracket. It will show my first 5 rows. So as this particular table just have 4 rows for head, I'll just be seeing the first 4 rows alone. If it has 10 or 12 rows, it will just show me the first 5 rows. If I just want to see the last 5 rows of my given table, what I have to give is df dot tail. It will show the last 5 rows. Here too, it is showing the same 4 rows because we just have 4 rows in my given table. Next, if I just want to see the number of rows and columns in my given data, So for this, we do know the number of rows and columns. What if my data is huge? I couldn't easily see that number of columns, right? So just by using a single word code, what I can do is I can see the number of rows and columns in my given data. So for that, what I have to do is I need to use this coding called df.shape. It will print the number of rows first, then it will print the number of columns in my given data. So here we do have 4 rows, right? So it printed 4. We do have 3 columns, right? So it prints 3. If I want to print just the column names of my given table, what I have to do is I need to give df.columns. It will print all the column names of my given table. Next to that, if I just want to see the data type of each and every columns. So for that, what I have to do is I need to give df.info. So using this df.info, we could see so many things. See, the data type of each and every column I can see. Other than that, I could see the values for each and every column, what all the values that it got stored. Specifically, the data type of each and every values. It just has, see, look at this table, which just has name. So name, when it comes to pandas, it is not just a string. It is actually considered as an object data type. And these values, 20, 85, 21, these are all integers. So only these two data types are there as values in my given table. So that is what it got printed as data types. So 2 column, it has integer. For 1 column, we do have object, I mean the string data type. And how much memory it used. So it is totally 228 bytes. So all these things we could print and see just by using df.info. Yes. So for this day, we do have a test. It is absolutely simple. We have already created a data frame here, right? So for the student date, as similar to this, you need to create a data frame for, if you need to take screenshot, you can take screenshot of this. Pause the video and take screenshot, okay? Now, let us go to the task of the day. You have to create a data frame for employee. So for this employee table, what you should create is, you should create a column name called employee name. You should create another column name called salary. You should create another column name called experience. Totally, you should have 3 columns. So with these 3 columns, you should have 10 rows. Likewise, you should create your data frame. This is the task for the day. I know it is easy, but if you keep on doing, if you keep on practicing, that is when you will get better and one day you'll be the best. So bye for now. We'll meet you in next video. If you have any doubts without any hesitation, drop them in the comments.